Hey everybody, this is Don again, and it is time for episode 51 of Practical Reality. It is a Sunday afternoon, I don't know, maybe 1 or 1:30, something like that, and we have snow. It's snowing out right at this very moment. It happens to be raining, unfortunately. But you can see over here behind me here, we got snow over here, and if you swing around and look at the river for a second, you're going to see some of the geese and the seagulls that are sitting along the water. And we have snow, and it's beautiful. And it actually serves as an analogous backdrop to the subject of this video, which is going to be the universe cares about you. And this video is sort of inspired by a conversation that one of my team members had with me earlier this week, trying to straighten out my hat. Earlier this week, sort of a philosophical type of discussion. And he made a statement that I found to be very disheartening. He said to me, the universe is indifferent to the individual. And I thought that was such a negative thing to say. And I just entirely disagree with it. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who feel exactly the same way. And I think that there's a big reason for that. And I'm going to try to examine that sort of viewpoint and try to talk about why I think it's so wrong. So I'm going to start off the discussion by saying you have a clear choice. You can believe that the universe cares about you, or you can believe the opposite, that the universe does not care about you. And I think it's a basic reflection of how you feel about people as well. Do people care about you? Do people generally care about each other? Or don't they? And I think that's a basic reflection of your overall mindset. And I believe that people do care about each other, and therefore the universe cares about you as well. And it really says something about how you choose to live. Do you choose to live in a world where you believe that nobody cares about you, or people just generally don't care about each other? Or do you choose to see the world the opposite way and believe that people do care about each other? Now, I know that you are shown examples of how people don't just despise and just don't care about each other every single day. And certainly the media does not make enough noise about acts of kindness and examples of concern and care for each other. They throw up every negative possible story that they possibly can. And I think that's because they assume that most people feel the way that they present the world, that people really don't care about each other. And for some reason, they're trying to reinforce that message in your mind. So let's look at my basic statement. The universe cares about you. Now, I grew up Catholic in the church. I was an altar boy. I think I've mentioned this before. And so I would naturally assume, and at least the New Testament says so, that we are overseen by a loving, caring God. Now, if you take that to a larger level, and you're a spiritual person like I am, and you don't necessarily believe in God, but you do believe in the universe, you believe that the universe is benign, so how can you possibly say that the universe doesn't care about you? If you're a person who is religious and believes in God, I'm sure you believe that God cares about you. And if God created the universe, then why would he make a universe that's unfeeling or doesn't care about you? To me, that makes no logical sense whatsoever. So if you are a person who believes in God or is a spiritual person, then you believe that the universe does care about you and the universe has your back. Or otherwise, you are left with the choice of feeling, as my friend does, that the universe is indifferent to you and doesn't care about you. And isn't that just sort of a very negative way to look at the world? And again, I know that the world is throwing out that kind of evidence to you every single day, that people don't care about each other. But I just believe that those kind of people get more airtime. And I don't know why that is. But it's important for you as an individual to recognize it for what it is and to take a step back and say, you know something? That's wrong. People do care about each other. And if there's a benign force that created the universe, then it cares about me and it cares about everyone. And if you think about that, we exist in this world. If you look at the size of the universe, it is unfathomable how large the universe is. And this tiny little world that we live on with 8 billion people is incredibly lucky to exist the way it does. So to me, that indicates that there has to be some kind of benign force out there that allows us to exist on this beautiful planet that we have, and on this beautiful day that I have here with a nice little snowstorm going on. Now, we all know how powerless the people who hold the power in this world want you to feel. And let me repeat that just in case. The people who hold the power in this world want you to feel powerless. But that is your choice to make on a daily basis. Are you going to allow them to make you feel powerless? That's your choice, okay? And my last video was about using your personal power wisely. You have the power to create your own personal reality. And that personal reality then is going to be based on the choice of whether you think the universe cares about you or people care about each other. It's really all the same thing. If you look at some of the new theories of consciousness that have been put forward in the past year or two, they are basically saying now something which I've believed for quite a long time, that the universe itself is a conscious being. And that universe then has to be driven by a benign force. Otherwise, life would be wiped out. So how can it be that there is no care in the universe? The universe itself, if it is a conscious being, which I believe it is, has to have concern and care and love for the people who are in it. And that choice that you make then on a daily basis is your choice of whether to believe that people care about each other and the universe itself cares for you. And then you have the ability to create your own caring little universe within yourself. And that really is the ultimate goal. You don't have the choice to control anything else but what you feel inside of you. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza says in so many of his videos, how you think and how you feel create your personal reality, okay? You can get caught in this cycle of thinking, and then you feel the way you think, and you think the way you feel. And it repeats and repeats and repeats endlessly until it becomes a program that you run your life by without even knowing it. So if you're going to make a choice to make a change in the way you think and the way you feel, you have to consciously step aside and say, okay, enough with this redundant cycle. I'm going to think differently. And that is what I have chosen to do. And I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else. What I am saying is that if you make the choice to think differently, you will arrive at the inevitable conclusion, in my opinion, that people do care about each other, and that therefore, if you are part of the universe, which you are, you contain the same energy that is billions of light years away from here. You are part of that same energy, and that same energy cares, because otherwise this world could not exist. The energy, if there is a creator, if there is a God, that God is part of the same energy that has existed since the beginning of time. And if it did create this universe, no matter how it was created, that creation is a good event with a benign basis and a benign force that rules it. And you then are part of that energy and can be part of that same benign creation that cares and cares about you and cares about everything. So you can actively make that choice to have a default mindset of optimism. And what are you left with if you don't? Okay? You are left with a feeling of alienation, that you are alone. Yeah, of course, you might have loved ones and this kind of thing, but ultimately, we are alone facing an indifferent universe. And I just can't accept that. I just don't believe that's true. I will never believe that that's true. You can have a default mindset of optimism that the world cares and that you can make a difference by being part of that universe and part of that ultimate universal feeling of love and care. So that is the choice that I leave you with today. Make that choice. Think about it. And if you are a doubter, if you are a cynic, then at least take a moment or two to consider the possibility that the universe does care, because I believe that it does. And I hope everyone listens to this video, gets something out of it, takes something positive away from it, because that is what I wish for you. Peace, happiness, and prosperity. This is Don for episode 51 of Practical Reality in beautiful Donaldson Park in Highland Park, New Jersey. My hands are freezing because you can't wear gloves to make a video like this. So I'm going to end it today shortly and hope everybody has a great day. Thank you for listening.